What is going on, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Expected Bets for your go-to podcast for all things hockey betting. I am Gator Betting, joined by two of my very sober co-hosts today. Yeah, Gretzky Betskis, there he is, and Franco the Banker. I think this is our first official happy hour stream.
It is.
Did a few of these last year, and yeah, it got off the rails quick, so I'm expecting this one to kind of follow that path today.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I have been going kind of all afternoon already. I am on vacation in LA. I got my buddy Peter here next to me, who's going to give us one of the spiciest plays of the night.
Pete's picks.
And yeah, true happy hour form. It's only 3:40 on Pacific time, but I've been treating it like I've been on fucking European time already by hitting it hard early in the morning. So we are
good
ready
to go. Yeah. You
H-
guys got some win.
EOGO, find me hot and ready to go.
That's fantastic, Franco. I think we tried to get on Betsky's level earlier, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
No, I'm not caught up. I need to do some work, I guess, apparently. So
all right,
I'll have to join him soon.
Yeah, we got 20 minutes here to try to catch up. But with that being said, I think we just get right into today's games. First one up, we have the Red Wings at the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs heavy favorites here, minus 198. Total set at 6, juice to the under at minus 112. Matthews on IR long term, so he's out. That means our boy really what?
Partying too hard is the rumor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you have to look at where he got hurt. I don't have it off the top of my head and kind of replay if it was a road trip or not, because that could certainly play a factor.
Was it Columbus? Did he get hurt in Columbus?
November 7th.
Ohio State game, the Sunday after they played or something?
Could have.
I don't know. I'm shooting from the hip.
He's been out for the past 2, so they were in St. Louis.
Yeah, maybe he went to the Budweiser factory tour or something.
Yeah, that's a fair choice. Not a bad trip there. Franco, did you have any props or picks in this one?
This is probably the game I have the least amount of interest in, to be honest with you. I can't really split these two teams as far as a side or total. Leaning Larkin just because he's been kind of firing since they've been on that kind of cold streak, and he's kind of bounced back.
Road dog too.
Yeah, running hot. I mean, 4 goals in his last 3 games, 5 total points across that stretch. Against Toronto, historically, 14 points in 9 games played, averaging almost 4 shots on goal on that stretch as well. So he loves playing Toronto. His goal prop is at plus 140. I don't mind that for a little sprinkle. Maybe take a shot and point or something like that to get a little bit of juice reduction. Obviously, you can't take his point straight. So maybe that's how you look.
You could take his point straight.
What's his point straight? Minus 162. I don't know. I don't really get that low. It's like minus 145 is like my cutoff. So I don't mind grabbing like for 2 shots and a point or something like that, or 3 shots and a point wouldn't be bad. I feel like
it's also a little wary tonight too with the goaltending situation.
Exactly, and his line mate Alex DeBrincat is minus 132 on DK for a point, which is kind of insane, and he's been a little cold this whole season. I don't feel like we're getting the true DeBrincat yet. He only has a point in 4 games. Mind you, he does have 7 points in those games, but he does have a point in 2 games straight. And again, if you're getting that minus 132 for a guy playing on the top line with Larkin, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's a bait or are we getting a fucking coupon right here? Because you know me, I love snipping those things. If I'm going to get a discount, I want to snip those coupons all day. And to me, if you're going to want to get value on something that's being probably undervalued just because how his current performance has been, I would ride that.
Yeah, I mean, DeBrincat's hit in 5 of his last 6, each of his last 3 versus Toronto, and 3 of his last 4 on the road. And you're getting that at minus 132 tonight. So that's some incredible value.
Yeah.
Lucas Raymond has also kind of started to pick things up as of late, hitting in 5 of his last 6, 2 of his last 5 versus Toronto, and then his last 2 on the road. So 2
But is he
guys with
still
the
with
better
Cobb?
odds. What?
Is he still with Cobb? Man.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
got one the other day. Cobb
I know
scored
he
an
did,
empty
but
netter, and I was screaming on TV because I
we need
wanted
a
that
minus
Kane
132
assist.
on DeBrincat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I did have one play, though. I'm just going back to Nylander shots on goal. He missed in his last 2 without Matthews, but his attempts in his last 4 have been averaging 6.5. So he's still shooting the puck, and he hates Detroit. He's covered this number in each of his last 6 games against them. And it's not by like 1 or 2 shots. It's by like 4 or 5. I think this last time out, he's let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, I love Nylander shots on goal tonight. Detroit's extremely leaky against him, especially forwards. Yeah, 5-5, and then in his last 2, he had 14 and 15 attempts. So,
well, and then on top of it, I think it's a thing where Nylander has hit like every single game where Matthews has been out for the past 2.5 years. This last game has 3.5, had 3 shots. I do believe he had 4 at one point, and then 1 got taken away. So don't be afraid of the bounce back. Don't be afraid of the next day betting here. I think especially against a much better opponent, a leakier opponent in Detroit versus Boston. I know Boston had been leaking goals, but that's a big defensive team. Detroit is not that. And yeah, I would feel pretty damn confident in Nylander. Also, are we not going to talk about the Domi in the room?
Yeah, his point.
He was a
really
wagon last year at certain points.
And he's playing top line with Matty Nyes and Mitch Marner right now. Shots on goal, he had his 2. I know it's more of a parlay piece at minus 168, but had 4 attempts, 2 shots last game. Doesn't have the best history against Detroit, but with how leaky Detroit is, are you really, really concerned about that? I feel like pocket that. Domi shots in the parlay piece feels pretty decent.
How many times has he been on the first line too playing Detroit? Like given his situation in the past few seasons, like this is probably the first time that he's in an actually like advantageous situation here leading up to Detroit. So
yeah,
I don't hate that at all.
Since he was in Montreal and put up 71 points at their top line center, and they thought that they had their new franchisee.
Yeah,
boy, have things changed. How many games
way back now?
Since he was the top center for Montreal? Columbus, Carolina, Dallas, now Toronto. 4.
Arizona was Domi.
Arizona drafted him. We traded him to Montreal for Alexander Galchenyuk.
Wow.
It was very good for us that season, but
yeah, that was how he worked, though, right? One season and then nothing, and then disappears.
Yeah. The other thing for Nylander, too, is this season at home, he's covered in 71.4% of games compared to just 14.3 on the road. So home dog, Detroit gives up the 3rd most shots on goal to forwards, the 31st most overall. Give me Nylander tonight. And you're getting it at a pretty good price. I think it's like, what, minus 135 on DraftKings. So I don't hate.
Real quick, that is a huge change for what we were getting him on Boston, which was in plus money territory. And granted, he opened at plus 110 because we didn't know if Matthews was out. Even after they announced Matthews out, he still hovered at like plus 105 to plus 100. The books are catching on. They are saying that chances are that does not happen again. Obviously, 3.5 is a tough line for shots on goal, but I think that much of a sway lets you know how where they are siding on with this line. Right?
Yeah, it's the perfect matchup for him. Like history-wise, he's hitting his last 6. Detroit's 31st in shots on goal against, and they give up the 3rd most to forward. So it's like it's all there for him tonight, and especially without Matthews in the lineup. So
yeah.
And don't forget, Pacioretty had 5 shots last game. That's not happening again. So,
good point.
Yeah. I mean that's his line mate. We're not expecting Pacioretty to have 5 shots every game. I know he can, but if one of those goes to Nylander last game, we're good. We cash. So totally. I don't mind going back to it. The other thing too, I just looked it up. Larkin 2 shots and a point is minus 110. I like that a lot. I don't see any way he doesn't get at least 2 shots if you're going to get his point prop at -110 basically for free. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's crazy value. Or you could go the DeBrincat line's now a little bit shady to me, but as far as line combos, if you got, which you can do on DK. So again, promo code THPN for DraftKings promo here. If you're not on it already, it's one of the few books where you can same game parlay point props here. And you know what's really spicy? Marner and Domi point.
Yeah. You
That could be
figure
really
if
nice.
that first line, don't hit that at all.
Actually, I'm gonna hit the rewind button here. Matty Nyes and Marner point. What do we got on that?
We put that in right now.
Matty Nyes, if you don't know, is one of the top goal scorers in the league. He is rocking on a 5 points in his last 4 games, only missing on 1. 3 of those points are goals. That means he has 3 goals in his last 4 games, 3 in his last 5, if you want to take it back that far. With Matthews out, he is really kind of, excuse this, but plugging that hole for the goal scorer.
So you can only, on the same game parlay on DraftKings, the only prop available is Marner over 1.5, which is plus 165. But if you do Nyes and Domi over half a point each, that's plus 250.
Wow.
That's real nice.
That's the stack you're going to want.
Yeah.
I can't believe they finally adjusted Nyes. I mean, he's -148 for a point. I feel like he's been plus money every single game. So they're finally catching on to that.
Nyes and Domi. I mean, that game starts in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Get on it, guys. Shit.
All right. Any other looks in this one?
No, that feels pretty damn good to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Nyes, Domi, each half a point plus 250.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Right there.
Like I said, the only concern tonight is Stolarz and Talbot are in net, and both have been really good this season. So I'm not sure in terms of this total going over. It is set at 6 and juice to the under. So that's my only concern with kind of playing point props tonight. But again, I could see this thing opening up pretty quickly. All right. Moving along here. Probably the biggest game on the slate, just in terms of rivalry aspect. We have the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Washington Capitals. Caps are -192. Total is set at 6.5. Juice to the over at -122. I have a few looks in this game, but Franco, it feels like our boy McMichael. Just keep riding that hot train.
Man, the value has just severely tanked, though. It sucks. His point is -154 now. Protas's point is -110 now. We got them at +100 and +150 last game for points each. So it hurts because now you're taking a hit at this point for grabbing them. So I still like both of them to record points given the how hot they've been. I don't mind taking OV goal again. That's at +110. I know the value just isn't as good as it's been, but I mean, what does Pittsburgh offer defensively at this point? Not much. I could see 4 goals from Washington here, and those have been the guys that have been contributing. So I don't mind grabbing a piece of them in any kind of way. So just get creative with it to try to find the value. Maybe you grab a couple shots for Ovechkin in a goal. Maybe you grab a couple shots for McMichael in a goal or something, or a couple shots from McMichael in a point to try to get that -154 down. But yeah, I mean, I think there's Washington looks like the side here. I feel like Pittsburgh on the road. I know it's not like an ideal spot. I know this is a rivalry and stuff like that. And I think at the end of the day, this is a Washington game to win here. You can grab Crosby and Ovechkin point at +124. I think that's a really good look. If Pittsburgh's scoring anything, it's going to be Crosby at this point just because of how good he's been. And we know Ovi just as good as he's been over the stretch. I think 6 goals in his last 5. I feel like at +124 for each of them just to get a point. Ovi's been dishing as well. He's been getting assists, not just goals. So I think that's a good look. Maybe even go crazy and go a goal each just to get a little bit more value. But I think we see a lot of goals here. I lean Washington as a side. I don't mind their team total as well. But yeah, I don't know where you guys are standing here.
I have Ovechkin over 3.5 shots on goal tonight. It's between him and McMichael, but Ovechkin's volume has just been much better. He's hitting 4 of his last 5, averaging 3.8 shots on goal and 8.8 shot attempts during that span. He's hitting 5 of his last 7 matchups against this team, and Pittsburgh's just leaking shots on the back end of things. They rank 29th in shots on goal allowed and concede the 4th most shots on goal to forward. In addition to that, DraftKings offers a shots on goal leader for individual games. Ovechkin's plus 425 tonight, and then it's Crosby at 5-1, Carlson at 10-1, and McMichael at 11-1. I'm sprinkling on Ovechkin at plus 425 and McMichael at 11-1 for the shots on goal leader in that game. I think that's insane value. Crosby has for that game.
I like that.
Wow.
Ovechkin plus 425, McMichael 11-1. Shots on goal leaders in this game. Carlson's not going to hit it. Crosby has been shooting more, but again, he's not getting over that 4-5 shot range. Ovechkin could easily put up 5, if not 6 and more tonight. Same with McMichael. So those are my 2 plays. There are 3 plays now in that game.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any reason to back off on McMichael right now. Again, the London Knights, not the Golden Knights. London Knights, just what a factory of just primo players. McMichael coming out of his draft year as one of those just heart and soul players, and Washington Capitals, whatever you think of this team, I know we kind of were down on them at our season preview episode, but they know how to draft. This kid has just been unbelievable. Don't forget, Bouchard was a Golden Knight, or geez, I keep on saying Golden Knight. I know why. We got the Golden Cougars right now. One of the London Knights, just prime guys over the past couple seasons. You got to have a lot of faith in this kid. And what's funny is Capitals have gone from a team that was hard to bet on to being a really fun team to bet on right now. You're getting a lot of good value on guys that are not well known. And then on top of it, Strome is one of the top point producers in the league. If you want to take him for a point for a parlay piece, that feels great. Why not take him for assist for plus money or just right around even money, though? It's been night after night for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Pittsburgh is starting to feel like they're kind of putting some things together. I know they had a tough night against Carolina, but Carolina has been very, very impressive. But I don't know, man. This is a huge rivalry between Crosby and Ovechkin, especially at this late in their career. There's a lot for them to kind of give that last push to each other. It's like 2 older brothers on their way out into adulthood, and one went to the better college, and the other one is more successful because he's working at a financial firm and making way more money than the guy who may have the PhD but is still only making professor money, while the other guy is selling prosthetic limbs for like $2 million a year. As an Ovechkin. So I don't think this rivalry's over with. And I love when these 2 teams suit up and ride it while you can, because we only got probably maybe a season or 2 of these 2 teams playing against each other. I love this rivalry still. Speaking of it, Crosby has been a shot machine, and I think he's only 2.5 tonight. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
But this was a guy that I was confident to ride last night. I put him in a parlay against Carolina, who is one of the toughest team for shots, and he had no problem hitting 3. Oh, it does look like he is 3.5 tonight. He had 7 attempts last game, and 9 attempts the game before. Against Washington, he has hit his 3.5 line in 3 of his last 5 games. He averages 6 attempts against them. Want a good parlay piece? Take him at 2.5. Want to get some spicy plus money? You know this team wants to win. Crosby's
5-1 to be the shots on goal leader tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you sprinkle the three of them, him, Ovechkin, McMichael,
you're gonna profit.
You're gonna end up on top there.
That's fucking Chris Letang just goes insane again, or Carlson. But
by the way,
I love all that.
If you do Ovi and Crosby at 3, that's plus 100, just each to get 3 shots on goal. I mean, I feel like
love that.
Pretty straightforward.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Any other looks in this game?
I don't know if I trust Raquel.
Ovechkin, anytime goal scorer, plus 115.
Absolutely. Peter was going to give his pitch on that, but he's outside smoking. You want to say anything about Ovechkin, Peter?
It's a great bet.
Man, few words, but I love the pick.
Yeah.
If you want to be silly, Lars Eller is in a revenge spot against the Caps, plus 400 for a goal.
Lars Eller.
What
a name.
Eller?
Love it.
What a fucking throwback.
Former Cap.
Shots on goal leader, 28-1, Lars Eller.
Wow. We're all about it over here. We're going to catch it out.
All right. Next game on the slate here, we have Minnesota at Anaheim, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Dostal props, mind you, I'm in California, so I don't have access to the main books. Dostal save props are not on Prize Picks or the DFS I have access to. So why don't you take it away on that?
28.5 saves tonight. That's the line.
What are they doing?
That just seems too low.
That's insane, and it's minus 110. Minus 110.
Put the Morgan.
Yeah.
Put the
only pause. Down. Only pause is Minnesota on a back-to-back. That's the only pause. But I still don't. I don't think Anaheim can defend anything at this point.
Honestly, I like it more that they're on a back-to-back because the Ducks could take the lead.
Yeah. That line feels absurdly low. I thought it would at least be 29-30.
I thought
if you look at Minnesota's last 3 games, they had 31 shots against the Sharks, a little bit of a downturn versus LA with 24, and then they had 33 versus Toronto. So they're shooting a ton. Anaheim's 37 against, 29 against, 45 against, 41 against, and the save props at 28.5 tonight.
That's a coupon right there. I didn't
realize what are we doing?
50% off.
Yeah.
Give me that. Shit.
I also have Matt Boldy over 3.5 shots on goal tonight in this one, plus 105. Love it. Love that play. He's hit in 3 of his last 5, averaging 4 shots on goal, 7 attempts.
Wow.
Better on the road, hit in each of his last 4 there against Anaheim, hitting 3 of his last 5, and just Anaheim shots on goal against. I'll gladly take Boldy tonight. So his attempts have been good, 9, 7, 7, 5, 7. So
on top of it, I feel like Boldy is one of those players that has been a little bit hard to trust as far as like consistency. And even if you look at his chart, he's only hit 4 of his last 10. But his attempts have been cruising 7.9 over the last 10 games as well. He's a young player still. Let's not forget this. He's not quite he's same draft year as Caulfield, but Caulfield really got just thrown right into it. I feel like this is one of those kids that is learning how to get the consistency of an 82-game NHL schedule. We're starting to see it. And I don't mind that against a team that's as leaky as the Ducks. I feel like this is a guy that by the end of the season, you're going to be wondering why he was plus money early into the season, though. And again, he's a little spotty right now. So take advantage of it in the good spots because, I don't think this is going to be a kid that you're going to get a good price on later into the season.
Yeah. How about that Troy Terry over 7.5 points this year? He's hitting each of his last 10 games this season, 11 of 10 to start, or 10 of 11 to start. So that's on a good note, at least. Sorry?
No, it's Gustafson.
Did Fleury play last game?
Fleury played last night, yeah.
Nice, okay. Yeah, that gives me a little pause, but not terrible.
Yeah, wow.
I don't think Anaheim has enough juice to beat pretty much any team in this league at this point.
You're
Their
crazy.
offense just
You're
has been not good.
So
they have enough talent, but it hasn't shown.
I agree. Okay, so it's a weird thing because this should not be a team that is one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. I think this is going to be a team kind of like Zona last year, where they have bad stretches, but then the offense kind of starts cranking. I don't know when that is. I don't know if this will be that game, especially with Gus Bus in net, but I don't know. I feel like it's bubbling in Anaheim, and at some point this is going to boil over, and this is going to be a great market for prop bets. I don't know if it's there yet. I'm just kind of putting my 2 cents in right now. But guys like McTavish, Terry, I don't know where the hell Zegras went. Even guys like Cutter and Leo Carlson, I feel like are going to, by January, I think you're going to want to ride those points from them, because you're probably going to be still getting them around plus money, minus 120-ish. Again, this may not be the game to do it. Just keep that in mind. Put it in your back pocket. But I feel like this team is getting the defensive play they need to. They're getting the goaltending. It's just a matter of time before they get the scoring going.
Terry's hit in 10 of his first 12 games to start the season,
Yep.
and his point, over half a point tonight, is only minus 120.
Disrespect.
Massive disrespect. If that was Granlund or Zetterlund on the Sharks, they'd be minus 400.
Wait, what? Yeah. And again, I think we brought this up last episode. This is why NHL betting is so good, especially on the straights market, is that you find this value because the books are so slow to pick up on trends like this because, Troy Terry is not a household name.
But Granlund is.
There's a Sharks fan in DraftKings. There's a Sharks fan in DraftKings, and we have to find him.
DraftKings is like across the books.
Yeah, this is insane. What they're doing to
Granlund
and
70 last night. It was a discount.
Jeez, they get point.
I think so.
He had 2 goals, right?
Yeah, I think he got on the board through that. Let me check.
Macklin.
Yeah, I think he had 2 assists. I think Granlund had 2 assists last night.
What is
2 assists.
What is Macklin Celebrini for the Calder?
Let me pull that up right now.
I saw Chad's posted this morning. It was like plus 600, but I'm sure it's been tanked since he posted it. So
Calder Celebrini plus 450 on DraftKings.
Oh my God!
So Michkov's still plus 140 in the favorite, but again, do you trust Torts to not just keep pulling him out?
Just as a Flyers fan and consuming media today, it appears like that was just not that it's not going to happen again, but I don't think it's going to be like a thing where he's just going to be constantly doing it. I think it's
why did it
it's
happen
kind
in
of
the
one of those
first
things
place?
where I know it shouldn't happen in the first place. I get it, but I think in general you have a guy coming over as 19. They're not expecting him to play 82 games this season. You give him a break. You let him watch this game from the box, whatever. So we'll see. I don't see him getting benched that many more games over the course of the season. I still think he's the most talented player on that team. I still think he's the front runner at this point, just given the situation.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Last game on the slate, we got Vegas at Seattle. I have only one play in this. Not really a ton of props that I was looking at, but Vegas minus 142, total set at 6, juice the under at minus 122. Betsky, any looks in this one? It's a weird game.
It is a weird game. I mean, my shooting from the hips right now says, why are we even considering not taking Montour shots at minus 135?
Montour point.
Mine is not. My chart's not loading. I'm fairly certain hit, right?
What did Montour point? He's hitting each of his last 5 versus Vegas. I don't know where that came from, but yeah.
Well, even his shots at minus 135, he had 7 attempts last game against Colorado, coming off having the birth of a child. had 13 shots against Boston, 7 against Ottawa, 4 against Montreal, which he had 3 goals in, and yes, has a great history against Vegas, both on shots and points. Seattle's one of those teams that I feel like they're hard to predict. I feel like they're a little bit better at home, especially for the offense. But
remember last year though, but 2 seasons ago they were terrible on the road. Then last year they were like one of the best teams on the road, and I feel like this year we just haven't gotten that sample size. But it was a weird turnaround for them last year. They're 3-5 on the road this season, 2-3-1 at home. But
I'm talking about not record point, like prop wise. I felt like on the road they were like scoring at a wild clip rate compared to their home goals.
2 years ago that was the case. You took their team totals over on the road every single game, and they were a wagon.
Yep. So I don't know. Carlson, I guess, is another one that I'm just, again, shooting from the hip here. I have not looked too terribly hard into this, but William Karlsson, shots on goal. Yeah, no, he missed last. Oh, no, that's against Seattle. I'm sorry.
Noah.
He did miss against Edmonton, but out of the 5 games he has played this season, he has hit his 1.5 line in 4 of them. His 1.5 line is minus 148. That is borderline something you could take as a straight, as a parlay piece that feels pretty dang good.
Noah Hannafin, shots on goal. Look at the history against him. It's insane.
Are you talking his recent performance, though?
No,
so
he averages
last
3
night,
shots on goal against them in 13 games.
Yeah, but last night he was incredible. He scored the game tying goal, and the game winner.
That history is insane. Holy hell!
And he's been better on the road this season too. So you're getting that over 1.5 at minus 148. A little bit juiced, but again,
you could juice it up to or pump it up to 2.5 and get it at plus 143.
Or take him with Karlsson at 2. Him and Karlsson at 2.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good way. Hannafin point as well as plus 115. He has 5 points in his last 3 games. Obviously, 2 of those were those goals in that last one. But against Seattle, historically, 13 games played, 12 points in that stretch, 4 goals, 8 assists. And like Gator said, averaging over 3 shots on goal per game in those 13 games against them. So he loves playing his team. I don't know why, but it's there.
Is anybody scared to do a Stone Eichel point, or are any of them at 1.5 tonight?
Nope, it's minus 120 for a point for Stone and Eichel. I have that circle as well.
Yeah. So Grubauer is out, so it's going to be Decord tonight, and he has been the better goalie of those 2, which I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, that's the kind of angle that you're a little bit nervous about. But looking at Seattle's past few games, Seattle's past few games, they've been outscored 4-15 in their last 4.
They haven't been scoring, man. I mean, their offense is dried up. I don't know.
And they face Aiden Hill tonight, who has been decent as of late. But yeah, I took Vegas money line at minus 142. I think Vegas rolls tonight. While they haven't been great on the road this season, this is a prime smash spot for them. So that's my only play in this one. And then I'll probably add either Hannafin shots on goal or Hannafin point, but those seem like fantastic bets as well.
Do you guys think you should go back to Dorofeyev shots at 2.5 plus 110?
Yeah, he was shooting last game, but he just think there a lot of shot blocked.
He had a couple blocked and it missed a couple as well.
Yeah.
You got kind of that injury too for a little bit.
Penalties that you feel comfortable with that, because he does get a lot of those shots on power plays.
Yeah, I have to look at that. He's on the second power, or no, he's on the top power play, right?
Yeah.
First, okay.
What is the shots value wise?
2.5 plus 110.
Yeah, so at plus money, you're pretty much saying, is it worth the 50-50 coin toss?
I think so.
Seattle's taken 5, 3, 2, 4, 6 penalties in their last 6 games. So he's going to have chances tonight.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind it either.
One more thing, too, just to bring up. I know this guy hasn't been doing much this season, but Chandler Stevenson, revenge factor here.
Oh, boy.
He has 9 points this season for Seattle in 14 games. He has
Wow.
not been much of a factor, but I mean, Seattle hasn't been scoring a lot. He's playing online with Schwartz and Burakovsky, so I don't mind taking his point at plus 110 and his goal at plus 400, just given the situation. If anybody's going to get it done for Seattle, I feel like this guy's going to have a little bit extra juice, so I don't mind grabbing him.
Franco, the
Love it.
vindictive banker.
Yeah.
Very vindictive over here.
Yeah, I don't hate that as well. Decord over 2.5 goals against, I think it's around minus 140. I can see Vegas scoring 3 pretty easily on the Seattle team, who's been pretty weak defensively as of late. So may add that one as well. All right. Any other looks for tonight, or you guys kind of got your cards out?
I think the other thing to point out is just that I think you could do if you want to go like safe. I think Washington and Minnesota moneyline parlay looks pretty good at plus 126. If you want to throw Vegas in there as well, it's plus 285. I think all three of those look good as far as favorites winning tonight. I don't have a lean on that first game, which should be starting any minute now at this point, that Red Wings and Leafs game. But I feel pretty confident in Washington, Minnesota, and Vegas tonight as far as sides go. So, obviously you're not getting any Vegas or any kind of value on Washington and Minnesota. So Vegas is minus 142. That's not too bad, but maybe you just go a little bit wild and take all three at plus 285.
Yeah, the Washington Capitals game, I guess, is my only pause, just because the kind of rivalry factor there. You never know. Like Pittsburgh could just get up for this game.
And I feel like Pittsburgh's been playing a little bit better. Maybe it's a little bit of old bias for me, where I feel like this team should be playing better than they are, but
I just don't think they have the blue line. I just don't think they have the blue line, man.
I would have to agree with that, or the goaltending.
Yeah, we called it to start the season.
Not in, right?
No, Blomqvist is in.
Yeah, it's Blomqvist. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, he's allowed 4 goals in each of his last 3 games.
How much would it cost Colorado to get Crosby? Callum Ritchie, a first, and what?
Probably Kovalenko too. You have to go 2 young forwards. I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that gets it done. Pittsburgh needs to blow it up. I mean, at this point,
he's such a steal though on the salary cap front too. That's the biggest thing too.
It's insane.
Like the salary cap, him being only 8.7 is
so
insane.
Colorado
They'd have to get something from that.
Would they move Millstat?
I don't know. 1-for-1, Ivan for Crosby.
It's incredible.
Yeah, you have to put that into the trade simulator. But all right. Any other things before we wrap up here? I think we're good. Yeah, if you guys are going to any game soon, check out Game Time. $20 off your first purchase. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right around the corner. Go check out Raycon. You get 30% off site-wide for their earbuds. Really cool. Not just kind of the standard black and white colors. There's some royal blue, some green. Just placed an order on there, so be sure to check them out. And as always, DraftKings. If you're not signed up,
if you want to get some
Christmas time
for Christmas, get Raycon.
Yeah, they're very incredible. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. All right. I think that wraps us up. Betsky, enjoy your time. Enjoy this weekend that you've already started. Franco,
hell yeah.
Have a great weekend as well. And we appreciate Evan for listening for tonight. All our plays will be posted, but if not, we will talk to you guys on Monday.